pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody. Go ahead and consider a motion to approve our agenda.
Madam Chair, I would like to change the agenda. I spoke with State's Attorney this morning, and I'm going to work with him on the resolution regarding future land use for Spring Creek Golf Course, so I'd like to withdraw that from this morning's agenda. With that, I'll make my motion.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Sean, with that change of removing item 3 from the agenda, can you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Aaron's.
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbon.
Yes.
Commissioner Poppins.
Yes.
Commissioner Landine.
Yes. And then we'll move on to our consent agenda. And can I have a motion to approve the consent?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Sean, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Aaron's.
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbon.
Yes.
Commissioner Poppins.
Yes.
Commissioner Landine.
Yes. I'll go ahead, move on to our opportunity for public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to come up and address the board? Come on up. If not, we'll keep on going here. Any commissioners have reports this morning?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Yes. I would like to just say that last evening, myself, along with Commissioner Aaron's, we did attend the South Dakota State Rail Plan Public and Stakeholder Meeting. It was in Sioux Falls at the Downtown City Library. And it was a meeting to gather information, obviously, and also provide input. Again, they have a timeline where, I guess, this month, again, they're getting public engagement into their plan. In March, they want to draft a state rail plan, and of course, the goal is eventually, by September, finalize that state rail plan and rail investment guide so that it's complete. Interesting information in regard to the fact that, we have no commuter rail service in South Dakota. We're one of 2 states that currently is not served by Amtrak. And, we might want to try to get passenger rail service in South Dakota connecting with other states. So that was one of the interesting things that I took from it. But again, lots of other information in regard to federal grants and how they go about improving railroad crossings, how they try to minimize, of course, the number of accidents at railroad crossings. And really, I think they've done a nice job over the last dozen years with that. So there'll be more information in the future. And again, this really is an important aspect of our agricultural sector when you look at their involvement with the ethanol plants and so on in South Dakota.
Thank you for that, Commissioner Gibbon. Anyone else have reports this morning? All right, if not, we'll go ahead and move on to our regular business. We have a second reading and public hearing.
This is a second reading and public hearing for an ordinance of Lincoln County, South Dakota, amending the 2009 revised zoning ordinance for Lincoln County by rezoning property legally described as tracts 1, 5, and 5A, except Lot H1, Smith's Addition, Southeast Quarter, Section 31, Township 100 North, Right 50 West, Lincoln County, South Dakota, from the I-1 Light Industrial District and C Commercial District to the PD Planned Development District, and amending the official zoning map of Lincoln County. Location are parcel IDs 15031D100, 15031D501, 15031D500.
Thank you. As was just stated, this is an application for rezoning. The applicant owner is LG Everest. Location is approximately a half a mile southeast of the city of T. As you can see, the current zoning, there's 3 parcels. The current zoning to the southernmost part would be light industrial. The other 2 parcels are zoned commercial. Parcel size is approximately 13.5 acres, and again, that's totaling 3 parcels. Property is developed. or three of the properties are developed. The southernmost property is developed with a concrete plant. The other two sites that are zoned commercial have been issued conditional use permits over the year for various types of commercial uses, motor vehicle sales, motor vehicle repair, truck repair. The southernmost property, the one that's zoned light industrial currently, that was rezoned to industrial in 2007. As I've stated before, is that prior to 2009, there was a singular industrial district. When the 2009 zoning ordinance was approved, that property was essentially downzoned to a light industrial. But the existing use on there is a concrete plant. Purpose for this application is to achieve similar zoning on the parcels. The applicant is working with the city of T to replat all of the properties into one parcel. If that occurs, there would be multiple zonings on the property, which makes it difficult for staff to interpret and for the applicant to further develop the property. As well as the applicant has stated to staff that they intend to do some additional expansion on the property, primarily the middle portion of the property and the north portion of the property with it. Planning Commission did conduct a public hearing, and they did recommend unanimously to approve this application. Their finding was similar to staff's finding, that this application is consistent with the Lincoln County Comprehensive Plan. The Lincoln County Comprehensive Plan identifies this particular property as future commercial industrial area, as well as the surrounding properties are developed for commercial industrial type uses. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have for staff at this time.
Do any commission members have questions for staff? If not, is the applicant here?
Yes.
Hey, you want to come on up? Good morning. Just say your
Morning.
name and address and tell us what we need to know.
Guard Robs, Stockwell Engineers, 801 South Phillips Avenue, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Just want to give an overview, I guess, kind of the project, what they're planning on doing. There's an existing, existing concrete plant that's currently there right now that takes up the north or the south parcel of the project. There's two additional parcels. There you go. Two additional parcels. Tract 1 currently to the south there is the existing parcel that Ace Ready Mix currently resides on. It's Tract 5A and Tract 5, both to the north there, that they're proposing, or that they have purchased and are looking to expand into. Currently, those were commercial sites before with some truck sales, repairs, maintenance, that kind of stuff going on in those two different sites. The middle one on Tract 5A is going to be removed completely. That area kind of filled in, and then the Tract 5, the very north one, there's an existing shop located there right now. That's going to stay in place. Nothing's really going to change too much on that very north end. The expansion, this is kind of looking north. It would be to the left on here. You can see the existing site on the very far right side. It will expand to the north with within those two additional lots. Concrete pavement will get expanded through there to encompass some rock and sand storage right here for the conveyors that will dump into the new existing dry plant. Right to the left of that, or to the north of that, they're proposing to do a new wet plant as well. So there would be a dry plant and a wet plant that's associated with the site. And both will share the rock storage in between. Some additional material storage, some rock storage will be down to the very south end, located right here. And then their concrete washout area for the trucks that come back here to clean out all of the trucks will be right here. That will be self-contained. Water will flow through, clean out the trucks. Well, kind of goes through a bunch of baffles and cleans itself out and just recirculates the water in through there, washing out the trucks throughout throughout the time. Concrete's gonna end right here at the north part of that middle phase, or the middle parcel, 5A, right here. And then everything pretty much to the north of that's gonna remain the same. You can see the existing shop right here, that's gonna stay. They'll just add additional parking, staff parking down here to the north, west corner of that, and then some truck parking up on the very north end, adjacent to that drainage swale there. They'll utilize this space in between here for truck traffic turning for new drivers that come. But the main reason why this is kind of empty in through here is there's a large overhead utility easement that goes to the site that we'll try to maintain to keep everything out of. The wet plant's going to stay out of that. The concrete washout facility is going to stay out of that. So pretty much that's just going to be left alone in between there and not do anything as far as any structures are concerned anyway. Down at the very bottom northwest corner here, the bottom left, or the very northwest, be a detention pond. So the additional drainage that we're going to be getting from the additional impervious area that we're going to be providing will drain back into the swale along that west side, and then drain out to the detention pond out into the drainage way the main drainage way that kind of heads through there east-west on the very north end of the project. The berms along here, along the very, like 273rd Street and on Ironworks here, those we're going to be remaining. Try to keep as many of those as possible and keep those in place. There's about 5 different entrances right now. One right here that they'll utilize that will stay, exit number 1. Exit number 2 is also an existing, an approach, but they're going to be widening that out. The other one is located right here. That one will get removed. Another one that was located in that parcel 5A in between, that one will also get removed. And then existing one on the very north end on parcel 5, that's going to get removed. And then adding an entrance located right here underneath that, or within that utility easement. This entrance number 3 also lines up with some right-of-way that is platted right across from it. There's talks of, potentially that road maybe potentially going in there with the redo of the exit interchange there at 29 and 273rd Street. So we wanted to kind of line that up with that. So in the future, if that ever does happen, it's got a direct alignment for trucks to kind of come in that location. Everything kind of circles from the north through the plant down to the south and out that exit 1 and 2 on the very south end.
How large is your detention pond?
What's that?
How large is your detention pond that you're proposing?
Square, like area-wise?
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure offhand. Probably half an acre or so. So that size mainly to handle any of the, make sure that the pre-existing conditions for the 105-year are held in there once everything's fully developed. They will not be discharging any more runoff than they currently are today.
Other questions?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
2 questions, Mr. Raps, good morning. Is there any possibility, like the exit 1, I look at how many approaches are onto that road, is that at all feasible, having that one removed? And I'm just asking, I don't know that it's necessary, I'm just looking at multiple entrances in a very close proximity to each other.
I don't know, Lance, I think maybe you can kind of talk to that exact. That, since it's an existing one, they utilize that currently right
Yeah.
now, so they're gonna plan on continuing to use that, mainly for vehicle staff parking for, that is to the dry plant there. Exit number 2 is an existing one, like I said, widening out. That lines up directly with the plant itself, where the trucks will be coming out fully loaded out of there. So it's kind of keeping the truck and car traffic separate.
The main reason for the question is given that I don't know that there's any progress been made with all of the roads in that area getting clarified as who's going to maintain them, how that access, given once the state comes in and does the interchange, what's the feasibility of being able to minimize how many approaches are on and through there, so.
Yeah. nothing's really been decided on. It's been a hard, trying to find out exactly who's maintaining these roads out there. Right now, currently, if there's an issue out there, someone just goes out
Does
and
it.
does it. Yeah. And we know the county doesn't. It's something that they could, but then they would charge someone, and then who do they charge? It's kind of the question on that. I think it was just back in the day, it was a handshake, and whoever, if you got a road adjacent to you and it's not in good shape, you're gonna kind of maintain it. Which ACE definitely, certainly will if any issues come up with
Yeah, it's
rutting
just
and
moving forward in the next 20 years, and given the interchange coming, there's going to be some significant approach changes coming, so.
improvements there. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I know they're trying to figure out exactly the history behind it and trying to determine what probably is the best way moving forward with that. Maybe do an association or what have you for the whole industrial park there.
Very good.
Which one again were you thinking about closing, the off-ramp?
Exit number
Ex-
1, wasn't that?
I'm just curious,
If
given
that
there's
was-
1 and 2 are relatively close, I didn't know if there's an interference with, and I only look to the future if there has to be some changes coming with whatever does eventually, because it does have to get determined here sometime.
Yep.
Who has to maintain those roads and how many approaches and all of that in and out of properties, so.
Yeah, this is the topographic survey. Right here is 273rd Street. That is part of the interchange that's going to be redone. There's talks of that shifting further south and then providing a kind of a service road in front here, right in through here. There's kind of the further south you can go, the more stacking you can have with that service road that they're proposing to put in there. That hasn't been determined yet on how they're gonna do that, whether it's gonna stay in the same location or move a little bit south or further south. That's still up in the air. They haven't determined that yet, but with whatever they do, there's gonna have to be something kind of built in here to have access back into the plant or exiting the plant and getting over to the next road over, which I believe is, you remember that next road over?
Kenworth.
Yeah, Kenworth. Get access back over to Kenworth without getting onto 273rd. And so that would be their main entrance in and out off of 23rd, or 273rd Street would be through Kenworth.
It's strictly a hypothetical question,
Yeah.
so just,
And that's something too, those exit could be consolidated probably into a little bit larger one, into a single exit as well.
very good, thank you. No other questions, Madam Chair?
We'll probably have to remove a tree to do that.
Anybody else have questions?
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
pardon, excuse me for being late, but given the history of that area and the condition that has existed there, it looks like a good plan to clean that up and to start renovating that entire area. Because we've had several issues with individuals that have cluttered up that area. We've had environmental issues. And this looks like a pretty good plan to try to stabilize this whole area, and probably, hopefully, it will maybe affect some of their neighbors as well.
Agreed.
This will pretty much extend the whole length of the Harrisburg off-ramp, correct? For people that maybe aren't quite sure where this is located.
Yes, yep. I wish I had kind of an overview of that. You can see right here is the on-ramp to 29. That off-ramp is gonna extend kind of all the way down to Kenworth, is where they're gonna be doing their improvements will go all the way over to Tallgrass, I believe, but their off-ramp kind of starts right about at Kenworth when they redo that. Right now, it's about at Ironworks, and that's why they're allowed access there right now, so that'll get extended out once they do the improvements there, and that's where the question of what do we do with Ironworks getting in and out, and what we're gonna plan on doing there with fourth access through Kenworth.
Anybody else have questions? All right, if not, is there anyone else that is here to speak in favor of this application? Is there anyone here to speak opposed to the application? If not, any further discussion amongst the commission? And consider a motion to approve.
Madam Chair, I'll move to approve the application from the applicant.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion? If not, Sean, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Aaron's?
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbon?
Yes.
Commissioner Poppins?
Yes.
Commissioner Schmidt?
Yes.
Commissioner Landine?
Yes. Motion carries. All right, we'll move on to item 2 on our agenda. Was Terry gonna handle that, or Bill, is that just something we always do?
Here comes Terry right now.
Oh, there he is. Good morning.
Morning. One item I have for you this morning is approve and authorize the chair to execute utility certificate and right-of-way certificates for structure 42-020-201, which is our preservation grant for, that we were awarded last year on a bridge.
For the request, any questions?
Move.
Second.
Thank you. Sean, you call the roll?
Commissioner Aaron's?
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbon?
Yes.
Commissioner Poppins?
Yes.
Commissioner Schmidt?
Yes.
Commissioner Landine?
Yes. Motion carries.
Thank you.
We had removed item 3 from our agenda, so we'll move on to the next item. DOT shop lease.
So we, some time ago, we extended these leases, I believe, or no, yeah, we extended these leases for the old DOT shop and number 5, in order to prepare these properties for sale. And what's before you is to continue month to month with these until we know that they are ready for sale. The current leaser has communicated that they are interested in it, in not only the lease, but also in the purchase. And so this first one would be for what's referred to as the old DOT shop, which evidently there's some title work that needs to be done. The requested action is to approve the lease extension for property known as the old DOT shop to Durable Equipment LLC for $800 per month, month to month, in order to have more time to prepare the property for sale as county surplus.
All right, is that an increase in the lease amount, Sean?
It is the same as what it has been, yes.
All right, thank you. Anybody else have any questions? If not,
How
I
long has
consider
it
a
been that?
motion.
How long has it been that price of 800?
I think this is the second year that
Okay.
it's been that.
Thank you.
Because I believe it changed when we increased it the last time, or extended it the last, okay.
All right, Sean, you call the roll.
Who made the motion?
Did we make a motion? Maybe
Yep,
we didn't.
move
even-
for
we
approval.
did.
Move for approval, Madam Chair.
I'll second it, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Sean, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Aaron's?
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbon?
Yes.
Commissioner Poppins? Commissioner Schmidt?
Yes.
Commissioner Landine?
Yes. And
So-
then item 5 is the same type deal.
Very similar. With this one, it's the piece of property that's being leased out isn't parceled out right now. And when we spoke about it last time, I can't remember who came up to it, but a department head came up and said that a large portion of that area is being used still by county. And so this would be the same leaser. This property is in Canton, just south of the courthouse here. It's a little corner, kind of by, where is it here? East 7th Street and South Main Street. And it's the same leasee, and that individual is interested in both of those, to lease both of them. He uses both of them for the same operation.
All right, anybody have any questions? If not, I consider a motion.
So move, Madam Chair.
I'll
That's a
second
motion.
it.
That's a motion to approve the extension.
Yes.
Thank you. And I've got a second from Commissioner Gibbon. Sean, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Aaron's?
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbon?
Yes.
Commissioner Poppins?
Yes.
Commissioner Schmidt?
Yes.
Commissioner Landine?
Yes. Then we have a airport improvement grant application that needs approving.
Yes, I thought I should explain some of this since we've actually approved agreements to continue with this work. This is per our capital improvement plan for the airport, but this year's airport improvement grant is for the design and testing for the apron reconstruction. The reason that this was held off is because the commission, the DOT commission was trying to figure out if they were going to increase the amount that the state offers for these grants, and they did so. And so now this agreement is before you. So we'll have 5% instead of the, I believe it was 6.5 prior.
All right. Anybody have any questions about that?
I have a comment, but I'll offer the motion to approve.
Okay, you've got a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Commissioner Poppin, you had some comment?
Commissioners Jimin and I, with the engineers, had a meeting a couple weeks ago, and discussions were quite fluent in theory of what may happen out there. And then, you know, as we all know, theory until it actually executes, we don't know what gets built. But there's, again, a great opportunity, given the acquisition of the additional 22 acres, as well as a bunch of other need. There may be a work session to try to revamp some of the the order in which we do some of the improvements out there, given that. Just wanted to let you know. Madam Chair, if I may ask the auditor, did we get it yet? So we've been, for months now, supposed to have a check in the mail. As in the postal services, I've found out personally, sometimes gets messed up, but I think that it probably hasn't even gotten written in Pier yet, and somewhere it's hung up on somebody's desk. But we're supposed to still be getting it very soon, and that's for the purchase of the reimbursement for the purchase of those 22 acres, so.
Thank you,
Madam Chair.
Commissioner. So we had any further discussion on that? If not, Sean, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Aaron's,
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbon,
Yes.
Commissioner Poppins.
Yes.
Commissioner Schmidt,
Yes.
Commissioner Landine.
Yes. Then we are going to, do we need to go out of, we need to,
In the past, we've had a motion to enter drainage board and a motion to exit, and yes.
so first I need a motion to enter drainage board hearings.
So moved.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Sean, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Aaron's.
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbon,
Yes.
Commissioner Poppins.
Yes.
Commissioner Schmidt,
Yes.
Commissioner Landine.
Yes. Were we gonna have, was anyone gonna come up and speak?
Just, yeah, ask the audience.
Yeah, anybody in the audience want to come up and address any drainage issues that they're having? Was there anybody on that was going to call in? Do we know? No?
No.
Nobody. Well, that's very unusual.
Well, with that.
Yes.
With that, Madam Chair, I'll offer a motion to come out of drainage board.
This is a rare occasion.
Okay, so we got a motion and a
Making
second.
history today?
Sean, will you call the roll?
Who was the second? I'm sorry.
I'll second it.
Okay. Commissioner Aaron's,
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbon,
Yes.
Commissioner Poppins,
Yes.
Commissioner Schmidt,
Yes.
Commissioner Landine.
Yes. Bill, we didn't need any executive session today. With that, I'd consider a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Sean, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Aaron's,
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbon,
Yes.
Commissioner Poppins.
Yes.
Commissioner Schmidt,
Yes.
Commissioner Landine.
Yes, we'll be adjourned.